Even though I asked to be transferred here for the master's program, coming here was a shock. Michael Morton wrote on January 22, 2002, from his cell in the Ramsey 1 prison unit, south of Houston. He was replying to a letter he had recently received from Mario Garcia, a former co-worker at the Safeway in Austin, where he had worked before being sent to prison 15 years earlier. Besides his parents and his younger sister, who made the 500-mile round trip from East Texas to visit when they could, Garcia was the only person from Michael's previous life who had stayed in contact with him. Virtually everyone else believed that he was guilty. Throughout the fall and winter of 1986, his case had been splashed across the front pages of Central Texas newspapers, earning him a grisly notoriety. Victim's husband held in murder investigation, the Hill Country News announced in the fall of 1986. Killing linked to sexual rage, trumpeted an Austin American-Statesman headline just before he was sentenced to life in prison in February 1987. The Williamson County Sun announced, "He's guilty." Michael had become a pariah, a murderous pervert, as he would ironically refer to himself. "When I got here, they used to put all new arrivals in the field force," Michael wrote, referring to inmates who were assigned to work on the prison farm. That had been 3 years earlier. Now, 47, he was too old to be doing hard physical labor all day long, he told Garcia. His face had settled into the softer contours of middle age, and his sandy blonde hair was going gray. "Try to imagine 20 to 40 men," he continued, shoulder to shoulder, hip to hip, swinging their hoes in unison and chopping weeds that are, I swear to God, 6 to 10 feet high. Or, on the bad days, working in a huge irrigation ditch, skinning the banks down to bare earth, and then dragging the chopped-up vegetation back up the banks. It's long, hard, back-breaking work. Sometimes guys pass out and have to be carried to the hospital. Fakers are found out by being dragged onto a fire ant mound. Either way, the consequences suck. During all this, armed, hard-ass guards are riding around on horseback, shouting Christian-hearted encouragement. Added to the natural camaraderie and high spirits of working outdoors are more snakes, rats, poison ivy, and biting, stinging, and pinching insects than I like to remember. The first few weeks damn near killed me. During his 15 years in prison, Michael had already survived sweltering summers with no air conditioning, when temperatures inside the old red brick penitentiary reached into the triple digits for weeks on end. He had fought off the unwanted attention of a hulking inmate, an enforcer for a prison gang who later died of AIDS, by inviting him into his cell and slamming a makeshift tabletop against his throat. He had been kept awake by inmates who cried at night, and by his own longing for his son, Eric, and his wife, Christine, whose absences he felt only more acutely as the years wore on. But in his letters to Garcia, Michael tried to strike an upbeat note. "I have fallen in with a tolerable collection of half-witted misfits," he wrote in one letter. "Despite it all, I am okay," he assured Garcia in another. Honest. When he did allude to the indignities of his daily life, he added a heavy dose of gallows humor, as when he dubbed a stomach flu that swept through the prison population one winter the brown storm. "I live on a dorm with 56 guys and 4 toilets," he wrote. "Do the math. It wasn't pretty." He proudly described working toward his master's degree in literature. He had already earned his bachelor's degree in psychology during the early years of his incarceration, and he expressed how much he enjoyed reading Homer and Dante. He casually mentioned that he was at work on a novel. Eric was a recurrent subject in his letters to Garcia. The boy was being raised by Christine's sister, Mary Lee, who, along with the rest of her family, had come to believe he was guilty. "It seems hard to believe, but he's 18 years old," Michael wrote that January. "This spring, he'll graduate from a private Catholic high school in Houston. The Jesuits are supposed to be good at cramming info into the heads of teenagers, so I hope he's ready for college. I say, I hope he's ready, because I don't know. We've drifted apart." A few years ago, he reached the age where coming to visit his old man wasn't at the top of his to-do list. In fact, Eric, when he was 15, had cut off all contact with his father.